Hey everybody, Adam from Team Swish here, and changing it up a little bit today. Some more vintage, but we're gonna play some Bant Archon. So I've cast a lot of Tinkers and like some other nonsense recently, and so I figured, you know, a lot of people who come to this channel know me for casting Hatebears, and this Hatebears deck looks pretty rad. And we still get to play Ancestral Recall, which is dope. So we're gonna play some Bant Archon today. So this is Montolio, Andy Marketing's list from a challenge a couple of weeks ago. So the whole notion behind Bant Archon is Archon of Emeria in Vintage is absurd. Like, absolutely garbage absurd. So you play 4 Archon of Emeria, 3-man deck Collector Roof, 2 Endurance, 2 Lavinia Azorius Renegade, 4 Noble Hierarch, all on-color boxes, Black Lotus, you know, Ancestral Recall, Time Walk, Brainstorm, Ponder, Mental Misstep, Probe, 2 Fluster Storms, 4 Force of Wills, 2 Force of Negations, 2 Force of Vigors, a Teferi, a Narset, 2 Swords to Plowshares, 3 Okos, a Strip Mine, 3 Wastelands, and then some lands to cast our spells. So our sideboard is a couple of Needles. These are going to answer things like Bazaar of Baghdad, 2 Prismatic Endings, 2 Containment Priests, 2 more Endurance, 2 Energy Flux, 2 Force of Vigor, another Swords to Plowshares, Tabernacle at Pendrelvale, and another Collector Roof. So basically, through the use of things like Oof, Lavinia, Archon, we're hoping to shut off all the big dumb degenerate artifact decks. You know, we're gonna, okay, well, Lavinia's gonna say that you can't tinker until you have a bunch of stuff in play, Oof is gonna shut off all their artifact mana, Archon's not gonna let them cast a bunch of things consecutively. So, game plan is kind of shut off all those plans. Then Endurance, Pithy Needle, Containment Priest, Tabernacle, all of these things are going to try to kind of bully Dredge a little bit, and say, nice graveyard you have there. What a shame if no. And then things like Teferi and Narset are just going to help in the blue matchups in general. Sylvan Library going to be a card that lets us grind, say, if we're playing against Jeskai or Blue Tinker or whatever, and they just decided to kind of draw the game out a little bit. So, that's kind of the plan right now. Gonna play some Bant Archon, hopefully do a little better than we did a couple nights ago, because that was kind of atrocious. So, let's just get right into it. I guess before we dive too deep, some quick updates. I have added MTG Bot to the stream, so if you have any kind of questions about cards we're playing or anything like that, you can type !card or !card space the name of the card you have questions about into chat, and it'll fire that up. So if for some reason you are maybe on mobile or the street Cardboard Live extension isn't working for you, that should hopefully clear things up. Also, mentioned in a couple of previous streams, we'll be listening to some different music from time to time. I now have... Not quite, Travis. So you're looking for Card Tinker. So in regards to the music, there is now in the bottom bar of the screen, directly next to the Swish Gaming logo, you should find whatever's playing at the present moment. Apparently it's not updating live, which is problematic. Alright. Well, let's fix that real quick. Capture... Title... Done. No? Huh. Apparently it's just like giving up the ghost all of a sudden. That's pretty rad. Well, fun and exciting times there. I will see what we can do to get that working again in the future. But if anyone is curious, we are listening to a band called Poor Man's Poison. Personal favorite. I reached out to them. They were like, yeah, go ahead and stream our music. And I was like, that's rad. Yeah, Travis, it's a process. I still have to work on mine a little bit as well. But let's fire up this league and see about casting some Archons at people. Also, I'm going to apologize in advance if anybody hears my phone go off during this stream. My wife is currently out of town, so I'm having our groceries for the week delivered. So I have to have my phone volume on, which is very out of character for me normally. But I need to know if they can't buy any of my groceries or show up to drop them off on my doorstep. So, apologies in advance. Ooh. If anyone is curious, today's drink of choice is some Balcones Brimstone. Ooh. Okay. So, I kind of anticipate that league wait times might be a little longer today than they normally have been the last couple of days. Or the last week or so, with this weekend being Legacy Eternal weekend. I know a lot of the vintage folk are also playing Legacy this weekend, so we'll see. Yeah, Travis, I believe that you were absolutely lucky this morning. Well, that one sucks. Sure? Not quite sure what I'm getting rid of here. Probably Time Walk. I think we can save that for later. Yeah, no, I expect that we're going to run into some wait times today. Yes, your Ruby is fine. Yeah? Needle name what? Oh, sure. Deal. Restoration, Mox Opal, yep. This might just be Belcher? No, this is 8 cast. Mox. Nope. Okay. One just has another thought cast. Sure, sure. Yikes. So opponent is playing 8 cast. What are you tinkering into? Citadel's a good one. Sure. Yup. This Narset is actually like very, very good because this Narset is going to let them. Yeah, like here they just tick down. So if they had something on top of their library that was just like non-functional, they just clear it with. They just clear it with Narset. Mox. I mean, I guess. Oh, opponent lost the flip. Okay. Emery's fine. Another Mox Opal, sure. That's bad. That's very bad. Ancestral's awful. Sick. This already feels like very out of hand. Random Time Vault. Sure, sure. I mean, yeah, you got it. Yeah, this is kind of absurd. Opponent had a very, very, very hot start. What is... Oh. Yeah. Yup. Shutting this off is easy enough. Yup. Also, like, opponent has 19 cards left, 17 cards left in library. And opponent's spending a lot of their mana to kind of go in on this. 13. Spin with Urza. Sure. Yep. Opponent is on the top trick, but they can't top trick for very long because they're at 1. Hey. Yup. Yup. Yeah, so the unfortunate circumstance with this hand was, like, we just didn't have things that did anything fast enough. Also, opponent has Tap Bolus the Citadel, which is pretty rad. Hey. So, like, this still feels like something we can come back from. Like, this construct is large, but not unbeatable large. There's the key. Gross. Yep. Opponent now has Vault Key. Oh, I didn't remember if opponent still had Crypt in play. That would have been important. Board in Flux. Board in Oof. I feel like I don't really care about Swords to Plowshares as much as I care about the other stuff that they're doing. Flusterstorm feels pretty exceptional in this matchup. Narset feels great. How did I... Huh. Well, I somehow messed this list up. There's supposed to be a Teferi here that's not here. That's a good start. Great. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4 Collector Roof. I don't think we have time for Sylvan Library. And then I think the rest of this is gas. Like, I could try to bring in these other 2 Force of Vigors, but I don't think I have anything that I necessarily want to bring in. Maybe a Misdirection? I think I kind of want all the counterspells, though. Needle's reasonable, but not incredible. Yeah, this is fine. I would love to play first. Yeah. Like, this is turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 either Flux or Lavinia. Like, this is the kind of hand you set up for, right? Like, Yeah, so worth mentioning that I somehow botched this and didn't put Fluster. It's not Flusterstorm. Okay. Play Lavinia. Brainstorm in response. Gross. Yeah. Yeah. Put back Oko with the land on top. Sure. Yep. So I'm gonna cast this Flux now. Nice. Oh, cool. Alright. Opponent has just given up. I could cut a couple of endurances here because I don't think they're actually that good. And then board in endings, I suppose. Blue, white, green. We don't really have a way for ending to clean up an Urza. I guess I'm gonna bring back in my 2 plows. I just don't think endurance is that good. I just didn't think about it previously. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, they have indeed seen enough. I mean, Hind is almost gas. Maybe I have to mulligan that one. This one feels like hot fire. I'm gonna put this plow to the bottom. Put this plow to the bottom. Yep. Mox, Crypt. I could pitch this Flux. Yep, that's fine. I'm just gonna fire off this Wasteland, like, pretty fast. Opponent won their flip. Top is fine. Opponent found a card with top. Emery's fine. I don't really care about that at all. You're gonna mill your top. And they found a land. Okay. I'm gonna play Flooded Strand and pass. I don't... Like, I probably want this to get Trop. And then this one just gets Tundra. They're gonna cast their top, sure. Yup. I'm gonna fire off this Ancestral on myself, see if we can get back into this game. Sure. Nope. I'm gonna time walk here. Try to find cards that actually matter. Drop. I've elked their Emery. Yeah, right. Like, this isn't a ton of value right now, but it is enough value that I'm concerned with it. Another Emery, sure. Yep. Bauble, Dismember, nice. Okay. Cool. Mox. Food. Go. Yep. So right now, I have Fluster to deal with, like a Thought Cast or something. My Oko will elk probably their Emery first, then my food. JK. Oof. Yup. The devil just left, he said he had to go. It's funny how it works that way when you just start telling them no. So just keep on keeping on down that way. I said you're almost done. You got the devil on the run. And you ain't got. So opponent has to pay for okay. The opponent has to pay 3 for that Fluster that they don't have, and then I just elk up my food, attack. Oof has shut off Emery from doing anything meaningful. They don't have mana. Sweet! So that is 1-0. Thank you everyone for joining me on this Saturday afternoon. So right now looks like next week's streaming schedule is probably going to be much the same. A Tuesday, actually it'll probably be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday kind of situation. So the plan there being on Tuesday I will have friend and fellow Team Swish member Greg Beamer on stream. Not sure what we're going to be playing yet. But Greg has said he wants to start streaming, so I'm going to bring him in, kind of show him my setup, and kind of help him get a feel for things. Then Wednesday will be a solo stream, and then Saturday will be the final solo stream before I start my Vintage Eternal weekend on Sunday. Wow. Okay, okay. This is interesting. Like, this probably, like, Stone Cold loses to Shops, but. Oh, they're all... Oh! I mean, Travis, to be fair, like, that might be good for you. I have no idea what I'm playing yet. Like... I'm gonna keep... Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, truth be told, I like the idea of something like this, but it almost feels like it might be too fair. Like, with everything that's going on, something like Archon feels like it might be a little too fair. Okay. Flooded Strand. Sure. Sorry, my cat is behind me with his face buried in an IKEA bag full of bungee straps. Couldn't tell you why, but that's where we're at. Mox? Sure. Mox? Yes. Land? Fetch? Okay. Yeah. This says to me that opponent is probably either Blue Tinker or PO. With 2 off-color Moxes and Underground Sea, one of the 2 of those things seems the most likely. At which case, this Endurance is not spectacular. Well, we found a Wasteland target, kids. That's pretty gas. Let's see what's up. Opponent has Force of Negation, Flusterstorm, Polluted Delta. Cast Black Lotus. How's that one feel? So this is the test, right? Is opponent willing to go? Opponent is. So opponent has put themselves to nothing. I'm gonna play my Mox. I'm gonna take Saga out of the equation. And then I'm gonna pass. Yep. Yeah? You can Twister me, that's fun. Wow. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Soul. Okay. So I'm gonna... I think I just want to jam the Sylvan Library. So then I have a Narset for next turn. I have a Force of Negation if I want it. Like, this Endurance doesn't feel like it's really doing much, but... Yep. Opponent's gonna Vamp. Yep, that's fine. I really just want to find a Collector Roof. Like, bad, bad, bad. Okay. Or a Wasteland. Wasteland would also be pretty gas. If I let them walk here, they start getting constructs. That feels pretty bad for me, and, like, I don't have a guaranteed Wasteland. But I also don't know that fighting over this Time Walk is going to do me a whole lot. Can I misdirect your Ancestral Recall? Please? Hey! Alright, well, we tried. Yeah, I would have loved for that to work out. Because misdirecting opponent's Ancestral Recall would have been just like gas and a half. So, and that was the point about not fighting over Time Walk. Like, the list of things they could do after Time Walk that would have mattered more are pretty high. Yes. This doesn't feel spectacular, I'm not gonna lie. This card feels pretty terrible right now. Blue, green, white. What are we doing here? Yikes. Yikes. You have Sphinx main? Sphinx would be pretty bad for me, not gonna lie. It feels like opponent does have Sphinx main because it feels like there's some real deliberation here. Oh, they just got Vault. Okay, sure. Gas. Yes, use Sylvan Library's ability. Wow. That's like powerful nothing, friends. Put on top. Put on top. I actually have to fetch another drop here because I want to... You got a force? You don't have a force. Interesting. So opponent has decided... Okay. Yeah, like 3/3 is fine. We can... Like, I feel like you're in a pretty rough spot, friend. Yep. Sure, you have another construct. That's fine. Like, I'm at 17. Foe, probably not, unfortunately. I'm still trying to get my vintage sea legs under me, if you will. So I don't feel like I'm particularly put together to play the challenge. Right now the game plan is just to play leagues up until next weekend and then queue for the Sunday Eternal Weekend event. So, I'm still... Yup. Got it. That's fine. I don't care. Unless you have main... Dismember main, like, this doesn't matter. I will let you attack with 5/5. That's a good one. Yup. Ooh. So, Narset helps me find a way out of this. I guess I can... Yikes. That feels dangerous. Yep, there's the punish. And then opponent attacks for 10. I'm dead. If I free up you if they have Time Vault. Yep. Alright. Flux. Take out Endurance. What else did I... Bring in this other oof. Library feels kind of bad. Could try a plow. Don't know that I love it. Huh. Hierarch, Lavinia. Yeah, like the rest of this feels like straight gas. Misdirection, like, might be the least of these. No, I think I'm fine with a lot of this. I could bring in Needle for Saga, but I think I can just beat Saga in other ways. Sure. I would love to play first, as it turns out. Keep. I'm just gonna jam a turn 1 Narset into, like, Collector Roof or some nonsense. I'm gonna find out how many times the opponent wants to be him to Teract. Sapphire. Emerald. Fetch. I'm gonna grab a Tundra here. Nope. Narset. Take down. Grab Force of Will. Onto you, opponent. So the next plan here will be use Brainstorm and then Collector Roof. Yep. Blue, red. Walk. Walk's fine. Like, opponent knows I have Force. They wouldn't... Like, that walk obviously doesn't matter. So, what's the plan here?
Woke up this morning.
Basic. Mana crit, sure. Key's fine. Yeah, you can untap your crit. One does have the force, okay. Oh, exiling Hull Breacher. That matters. Okay. And a brainstorm. Huh. I think I'm gonna put back gross. I guess I want to put back both of these. Take down with Narset. If this Narset was almost 100% dead anyway, sure, we'll take a Taxian Probe. Probe you. We did find a land. Okay. So I can jam Archon or jam Collector Roof. I think Collector Roof is the one that makes the most sense. And based on that, I'm gonna get Trop this turn. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. We'll Collector Oof, let their mana crypt eat away at them. Hopefully. Yeah, sweet. Gross, sure. Immediately being shown the reason I should have wastelanded. Got it, understood. Opponent has a kind of weird decision on whether or not they're supposed to like activate Urza while they can. Like, I'm just gonna jam Archon. Probably just gonna wasteland them. Because if I take them off of black, answering this Archon is very, very difficult. So, I think the opponent agrees this is a weird situation for both of us. They don't know about this Archon, but they know that, like this could be a Swords to Plowshares. And if this is a Swords to Plowshares, all of a sudden, like, the fragile house of cards they have built involving this Construct token are, start to crumble down. Again, thank you everyone for joining me this afternoon. I really do appreciate it. For anyone who missed the introduction here or isn't familiar with the format, we're currently playing Bant Archon. This is an unintentionally modified version of Montolio, aka Andy Marketing's list, from the challenge a couple weeks ago. I say unintentionally modified because Andy's list was playing a Teferi Time Raveler that I accidentally cut from the deck. So hooray. Give me combat, sure. Like, this attacks Narset, this attacks me. Yes, I agree with these statements. Draw Collector. Not Collector. Green, blue, white. Okay. So, one of the biggest things we're still looking for is the card Swords to Plowshares. That's, yeah, you got it. When they're Crypt Flip, that's good for them. Currently very soft to the card Time Vault. Not gonna lie. It's 7. Okay. Yep, Breacher's fine. Awesome. I'm easy gonna double block this. Cool. They're gonna take the Collector Roof out of play, which is what I expect. So the thing is, that's actually kind of good for me because having these 2 Moxes free backup is something I want in my life. Untap Crypt. Yup. 3 blue, blue. Oh, 5 spin with Urza. Yup. You played a land first. And right now we're back to the same place we just were. Yeah, so like I can take a hit here from whatever they've got going. And they're in a pretty rough spot. More so if they did lose their Crypt Flip. Okay. So the position's getting worse for them. I think I'm just going to take 3 this time. Because if opponent... Okay, opponent just had a land. So like if opponent just jams Time Vault, we lose. Bonus Archon, sick. Just gonna attack. And then I think I'm gonna trade my Collector Roof into their Hull Breacher. Opponent fetches and goes to 5. Yup. This is brave, opponent. They're spinning with Urza. On my turn. Yup, they hit a Ponder that they can't cast. One, two, three. 4, 5. Spin, sure. Saga. That doesn't matter. You just died of the. Yep. Cool. So, thinking now, I do kind of want this plow. Now, like, thinking about how many things opponent has that just is good against. Can cut 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, that's plenty. I can probably cut Misdirection for my last plow. Because honestly, like, it seems like opponent is more on a creature plan. Like, the opponent has realized that, like, I have a lot of Null Rod and Null Rod-esque effects. Huh. Well, that's bad. Well, it's also bad. Like, I have Force of Vigor, Collector Roof, and Misstep. Keep. Ship. Oko. Ship the second Hierarch. Yep. Okay. I mean, this is gas, not gonna lie. Blue, blue. Are we tinkering? Scroll. Okay. What do we get with scroll? Two. I mean, that's a good one, not gonna lie. Like, a Mox would be one of the best draws on the planet right now. Lotus would be supremely sick. I mean, yeah, Karn Scion is a thing that resolves. I, like, kind of surprised we didn't see this earlier, to be honest with you. Huh. Grab my Trop. Cast Noble Hierarch. Okay, opponent won their Crypt Flip. Like, this is a card I want off the table pretty much immediately. I want opponent to tap out this turn. Sure, you got another Construct. That's fine. That's a Saga, sure. That's bad. That is like one of the last things we wanted to see. Ponder's fine. Alright. This is a pretty savage board state, not gonna lie. Okay. Mox, yes. So I think what I'm gonna do here is present my Collector Roof, see what happens. Then based on whether or not Collector Roof resolves, that will decide what I want to Wasteland. If Oof resolves, I'm snap Wastelanding Tolarian Academy. Like, I'm in a bad spot, not gonna lie. Not blocking, kinda need this. That's fair. I mean, I kind of said it. That we had. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Okay. If this resolves, I think I win the game. Like, opponent just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's... So... The problem is the way this mana worked out, like, this isn't spectacular. I think I'm just gonna Flux them. If they have the Force, they have the Force, and I think I'm losing anyway. Flux just resolves. Now, like, they're gonna get to keep a reasonable amount of this. But I don't know that it's enough to kill me. And that's what's important here. Yeah, you're gonna sacrifice crit. Like, this is actually huge. Okay. 7, so you're gonna keep 3, 4 artifacts. Or if you decide to start tapping everything with Urza. Okay. Yep, that's supposed to go away for sure. I didn't even realize that opponent's like 5 minutes on clock. Oh, am I just dead? Yep. Yep. That's 13 exactly. So that was the reason to Wasteland first and play Collector Roof. Weird. Not show me the land that I just got. I mean, I guess. Yep. Yep. So that was bad sequencing. Nice. Oh, that was just poor sequencing. I was supposed to Wasteland them and play Collector Roof first, try to take them off of some of this garbage, and then untap, and then jam the Flux. Yep. Okay. Lesson learned. I didn't do the math correctly. I assumed that they would lose more of their board state to that Flux than they actually did. And because they didn't lose a ton of their board state to Flux, they still had 13 with the Urza. Okay. the point of all of this. We're here to learn. So, alright. 1-1. Into match 3 already. Wow. Apparently it was just the first one that's going to be rough. Opponent is apparently also not having a great day. Yeah. This is turn 2 Archon with Force Backup. A keep. If opponent is on Bazaar, we just wasteland them, and yeah, you got it. I'm Bant Archon. Obviously not Bazaar. For anybody just joining us and curious about what we're listening to, this is a band called Poor Man's Poison. Flooded Strand, go. Sure. I'm gonna jam Noble. You know what my hand does. So the gas here would be draw Mox. Because Mox lets us wasteland. Opponent's gonna Mystical Tutor. Sure. Mystical for Ancestral. I mean, I'm gonna fight over it. I'm fighting over it because, like, that's what I have to do. Force Pitch Floster, sure. Cool. Oh, opponent is Doomsday. Okay. There was the missing piece of the equation. Mox? Not Mox, but not bad. Tundra. Green, green, white, Archon? So, like, this is gas for us. I have Endurance in hand. Opponent has to find a pile that, like, beats all of these things. I'm just gonna clock them every turn with an Endurance. Gas Lavinia. Alright, cool. Opponent has had enough. So this is a matchup where these Endurances definitely come in. Oof is of limited value. I don't think Force of Vigor is very good. Like, opponent's gonna have some amount of artifact mana, or like artifacts to play out and stuff, but I think that we have better things to be doing with our life. I think that's about where we want to be. I don't see anything else that I feel like I need in my life. I want to keep my blue count high for all these forces, so I'm going to keep the Okos in. I could probably cut Plow. I don't think Plow's very good. Maybe Ending? Oof. Ordinate Ending, I guess? Could Needle, but I don't think that's very good. Like, this is just to tag stuff they play out to try to get ahead of, like, the whole pile of stuff. Yep. Like, this is not as good as the last hand, but this is a very good hand. It has multiple pieces of interaction. That's fine. Like, the card I'm looking to draw here is Endurance. That's fine. It's not endurance, but it's a good one. I mean, I guess. No? What do you got, opponent? No. Nope, still not paying. I'll pitch another one. Draw land, play oof. Okay. Put back Oko. Put back Narset. Put back Oof. I have one of these two available this turn. I needed to make this land drop. Ritual, sure. I know I have a Narset up top that I don't want, but I'm not going to cast this turn. I want this as my green card for Endurance if my opponent just has it again. Tutor's fine. Go to end step. I think I'm gonna grab another Trop here. That's gas. I don't need to fetch right now. Cast Time Walk. Dig's fine. Opponent is trying to refuel after this kind of early back and forth, and I still just have the answer to their like nonsense. I'm just trying to draw more pieces of interaction to back it up. So like what I would love right now is a Flusterstorm. That Pearl is actually kind of gas because that Pearl helps me to play around Daze. This one has chosen Ancestral Recall. Yep, that seems like the pile you want to build. Preordain's fine. Ancestral's fine. Lotus, yes. Oracle with 1 in library. Take my Tundra. Force pitch misstep. Yep. Yep. Alright. So the question here is there anything else here that I want more than what I have? I don't think so. Yeah. Yep, play first. This is kind of awkward. Because, like, I have this endurance, but this endurance doesn't actually, like... I can't cast it. I do have 2 forces, though, and a brainstorm, so... I'm gonna keep. Mox. Mox. Tundra. Say go. You got a jet. Misty. Preordain's fine. I'm brainstorming here because I actually like a lot of the cards I have in hand. Wow. Okay. So... I guess I'm gonna bury one of these forces underneath the Noble Hierarch. Oof is now my pitch card for endurance. And I have forces. So this is one of those weird situations where I'm going to let their Doomsday resolve and just try to endurance them with the Oracle trigger on the stack. That sucks. Like a lot. That makes it a lot harder to fight this battle the way I want to. Ritual, yep. Yep. So currently I can play around days. This doesn't get flustered. So they have to force, which I can then force back, and then they fluster my force. Rough. Okay. Oh. Interesting. I'm just gonna let you Ancestral. Lotus is fine. Gonna evoke this Endurance. I want the evoke trigger on the stack first. You. Opponent has a second Oracle. That's what this tells me. Opponent built a 2 Oracle pile. Cycle, cycle. Aw, gross. Come on. Alright. That was pretty sick, not gonna lie. Opponent played that very well. So it was not a 2 Oracle pile. Instead, opponent had double Street Wraith, which allowed them to go to 2 cards in library, so the Oracle trigger was still a kill. That's pretty gas. So that's the argument, like, where maybe I was supposed to force the Oracle on top of it. I kind of put them on Oracle, so I figured I would have to force a second Oracle, which may have been the case. But the way that they constructed the pile, it just played around. It played around the line I thought they had, and the way I was going to behave, which was very, very clever on my opponent's part. So this puts us to 1 and 2, which is kind of unfortunate. That Doomsday situation, maybe I was just supposed to fight. Like, maybe I next leveled myself a little bit by assuming they had a second Oracle. So I don't know if maybe it was correct to force there. Because I can force, and then if they force back, I have hard cast Force of Negation. I don't know. Interesting. Thank you again for everyone joining me today. Again, my name is Adam. I'm a member of Team Swish out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Today we're playing some vintage Bant Archon. Despite the 1 and 2 right now, like, the deck feels okay. I've had to mulligan some hands just, like, not having mana, which feels weird. Like, the deck plays a reasonable number of lands and plays artifact mana, but take your time. Won't mind if I do. Huh. I mean, I don't think that's good enough. That feels good enough. I'm gonna ship this Mox that doesn't do anything. Yes. I'm valuing my mental misstep as pitch card to Force of Will. Tundra, Mox. Yikes. Sure. Like, there wasn't a world in which I didn't plan on casting this Noble anyway. So I'm just going to cast the Noble into the Standstill.
How we all doing tonight?
Last seen 13 days ago on Esper Standstill. That sucks. Yeah, that resolves. Mox Emerald, sure. Okay. I'm going to attack you. So I'm kind of priced into forcing here, otherwise my force doesn't do anything. Opponent is of course going to force back. Yeah. They're going to bounce my noble here. Because I showed them I didn't have a land drop. Yup. Yikes.
Good evening, everybody.
This is a pretty bad spot for us to be in, I'm not gonna lie.
It is an honor. We're gonna need you guys to sing along with us tonight.
Gross? Yup.
So on the
1,
count
2,
of
3,
1,
4,
y'all
5.
say, ain't nothing wrong with a little
Opponent
bit
says
of fun.
wish. No, the opponent just pluses. Okay.
That's real. 1, 2, 3.
I guess opponent doesn't have me dead, but like this feels exceptionally bad. I mean, yes, Travis, that's generally about how that works. When you cast PO for 6, your opponent should probably just... If your opponent can't deal with it, they should probably just pack it in. Alright, you have land drop, wish, lattice. Wish, yes. Get Mycosynth lattice, show me your land drop. Yup. There's your land drop, yup. Yikes. Needles. Endings. So most of these lists now are on the dragon, Timeless Dragon. So I actually kind of like Endurance in this matchup a little bit. Force of Vigor feels bad. Lavinia is also of questionable value. Plow feels kind of bad. I want Needle for their walkers, because I'm going to have a hard time dealing with all of that. Yeah, I think I'm not supposed to Plow here. I'm just supposed to be like the bluest version of this deck I can be. Things like Archon are going to be fine. Lavinia, like I said, is of questionable value, but I think it's reasonable enough. Trying to think if there's anything else here I don't necessarily like. I think this is fine. Yes, please. Gross. Ship Noble, I guess? This could hit... Yep. And that was the... What the hell? Yep. That's Mox. That is also a good one, not gonna lie. Archon, not so great.
Song's kind of new. It's
How are we getting out from under this? I think it starts with... We have to shut off Wastelands. Which feels kind of atrocious. Hey.
Pressure cracks in that old wooden floor still creaking, ever so softly, just barely off key. Lets me know that you just got
Oh, that sucks. Want to just hard cast the dragon?
came back to play fair.
Cool. Ugh. Gross.
Or we could just walk away, or save it for another day. And if this feeling grows at all, we could just stand back and watch a castle fall. And
Cool.
have you ever
Good.
tried to see what beats so strong inside of me?
So the reasoning there to keep the Sapphire untapped was in the event of Ancestral Recall. We didn't draw it, but that was the logic.
Throw it away. Make your move and then make my day.
So
Throw it away.
Green Source gets us an Oko.
Learned itself betrayed.
Which doesn't do anything? That's gross. Yikes. Big oof. Alright. 1 and 3. Oh. So, that is savage. I will say, like, I'm glad to see Standstill making a comeback, but a lot of the lists just, like, aren't prepared to deal with the kind of stuff they're doing. Maybe that's an argument to play Standstill. Maybe the argument there is that because a lot of the lists, or maybe it's just of my play patterns, but it feels like Standstill is a pretty savage beating right now whenever I run into it with anything. So maybe this is an argument to look at Standstill, just because, you know, people jamming Standstill get to kind of mess with a lot of the blue garbage. And Dredge is a little less prevalent than it has been previously. Mind you, that on the back of most of the big time names in Vintage all saying that Dredge is like a pretty well positioned pile right now. Unclear. Like, opponent was on Esper, theoretically, like that was... So says the bot. And I wonder if maybe instead of Esper, like something like Bant Standstill would be reasonable, because then you get access to Endurance yourself. This hand doesn't do anything.
This song's called the River Song.
Hand has no green mana,
Clap along.
no real interaction. We're gonna mull it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yikes.
Get them hands up.
Keep.
I'm leaving town
I think I'm gonna ship Oko and Force of Vigor.
and got me my fishing pole and ice just on its way. You know vacations don't come around soon enough, so I just called it in sick, said screw the pig.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Mana Crypt, yup.
Got me a few brews and a little barbecue now. A fold-up chair sitting in the shade. You know I ain't got the time 'cause I've been wasting it all out where that river's calling my name. Out where that river's calling my name.
I swear, if another opponent mental missteps a Noble Hierarch, I'm gonna be so upset.
I left my troubles back in Tennessee, country miles away. When I heard that river just a calling my name.
No. Gross. I guess I guess it's not mental misstep, but like, yuck. Opponent just disputed my noble.
I don't know if y'all heard, but there was this guy that lost, he had a tragic accident, lost his whole left side. What happened? But don't worry, he's all right now.
And with opponent being on dispute, that's like a pretty telltale sign they're on blue tinker.
There was a firefighter. He had two
This just got bad. Yup.
The first one, Jose. The second one, Hose B. Thank you.
Force of will, sure. Okay. Opponent's pretty aggressively taking down this Narset, so it's possible that they feel like it's not very good, which would be pretty great for me, because as it sits right now, this Narset is actually very good with my Ancestral in hand. Mind you, opponent does have a Force of Will, which I know about. I suppose I've also shown opponent right now that I don't really have any pressure. Kind of want to just draw another blue card. Scroll, sure. That's bad. Opponent cast scroll, sure.
Longing for something more. Will I ever be free? Will I ever be free?
Like, this saga was their real clock right now. And right now I can pitch my Ancestral to Force.
For that sunshine on my door. Will I ever be free? Oh Lord, set me free. You know you'll never be free when you're friends with the enemy.
I'm wondering if opponent won't counter this. Nope. Straight up did. Cool.
Working on a better way. Will I
So my thought process there was that if I misdirect their Ancestral to me, I'm not drawing cards, I'm just stopping them from drawing cards. So there was a potential world in which they just didn't force my misdirection because it didn't do anything. It was him to Turok myself. You can't draw cards. You don't get to draw 3 cards. Come on.
times keep coming at the worst times? And it's hard enough just to keep my
Like, I get that I fired off 2 Wastelands at my opponent, right? Like, I understand that. But also, like, opponent mystically, used a mystical dispute on a noble hierarch, and now I'm just, like, stranded on mana. Yikes. So opponent's gonna start making constructs. Yup. Yup. Right now, the only mode this has is if my opponent starts drawing too many cards. I'm just gonna actually, like, try to Ancestral them for lethal. That's not very likely, but that's the current mode of Ancestral Recall. Which I guess is, like, an actually possible thing if opponent just like puts a Citadel into play and goes berserk. Get key. Top, sure. Does that mean you have the Tinker? Because it feels like you have the Tinker. Yup. My hand is not good, opponent. I understand. Do what you must. Yikes. Just big yikes. Black. What, Needle Oko? Is that the plan? Yep. Needling Oko was the plan. I promise you I did not plan on winning with Oko, so there's that, I guess. Jeez. Alright. Black. Like, you're gonna attack, and there's not anything I can do about it. Noble Hierarch. You got another counterspell for this? No, okay. My Noble finally just, like, gets to live. At least for a second. Blue. Spin top again. Sure.
Thank you. Thanks. It's a new song. It's called
So I will say that, like, there's definitely a detriment to not having the Teferi in my deck. Like, there have been a lot of times where I would have, like, if I would have had a Teferi, I could have played to being a little more patient and, like, jam the Teferi, then do all my things. But nope. Accidentally cut the Teferi. I think I have a 4th Oko in that spot. Yeah. Time Bolt's fine. Do you also just casually have key? Draw a card. Sure. Deal. Alright. Flux, Flux. Oof. Force of Vigor, Force of Vigor. Sylvan Library seems like a pipe dream. Misdirection seems of questionable value. Endurance can go, and then 1 cut. Cut an Oko, because I think that's, like, also kind of a pipe dream in this matchup. I'm as likely to beat them to death with, like, nonsense. In fact, I'm going to cut a 2nd Oko and bring in this last Plow. Because opponent is assuredly on all of the other garbage that beats me. So, run this like it is. I guess I should have made check that, like, my green count is still fine for Force of Vigor, but I think I'm just gonna... Wow. I mean, this, like, has a ton of hate. Like, a ton of hate, but nothing else. Ship the Plow, I guess? So, like, right now, this Oko is just a pitch card. Like, I have pitch cards for days. This is gonna beat stuff, I guess. This has to get Tropical Islands, because there are more green cards that I'm caring about right now, I think, than there are white cards. Confirmed. That was the correct call.
Then they ain't your brothers. No, he ain't your brother.
Saga's fine. Ponder. Strand, Tundra, Lavinia. Don't shuffle. Go.
When you find yourself alone,
Cool.
I'll just say I told you so. You've always been and you will always be nothing more than a man.
Yup. Hullbreacher's fine.
You find yourself alone, I'll just say I told you so. You've always been and you will always be nothing more than a memory, and nothing at all to me.
So opponent's game plan right now is to start doing a bunch of nonsense garbage between Urza Saga. Like, if they have a Time Twister, we're, like, in a position where I'm just going to start snapping off all these counterspells pretty fast.
Definitely music in a positive way. Just consumes you. It kind of takes over. It's all you think about.
Yup.
What kind of loaded question is that? What is my poison?
You got it. Needle resolves.
I got a track record on that one.
What is this needle name?
Street gutters and
Oko.
yeah.
Sure. Pro tip.
you know, I'm gonna say music.
Easy
because
money.
it's the most tasteful thing to say.
That's probably my biggest poison, I would say, if there was going to be one, is music in general. It's so entrenched in my everyday thought that if I'm not playing music, I'm sick.
Cool.
I'd have to agree with John that music is probably that poison. I mean,
Opponent attacks. Cool.
Self-titled song, and I think it says it best when it can be anything that you love. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
Jam the Lavinia. Sucks here that this can't fight back. Okay. Oh, that just resolves. Sick. Nope. Yeah, you can have the information. It's like, I don't know that any opponent can really do much with the information. I'm of a mindset to just Force of Vigor them and end step. Just for the notion that if I Force of Vigor them and end step, it gives me the ability to, like, untap Jam Flux. And they can't have a way to react to it. I guess if I Force of Vigor, I don't need a Flux, but... Opponent currently can't... Yep. Yep, that's how that works. You didn't spend any mana to cast your Mana Crypt. Well, that's... Flux is now like 100% my pitch card for... Force of Negation, I suppose. Cast Energy Flux. Yep, that's fine. Flux Resolve.
Alright guys, this song's called Crown Vic Headlights. You can sing along if you want, if you whatever. It'd be cool.
You've paid for your needle. You're not paying for your mocks.
Set them Crown Vic headlights creeping on me. Keep your eyes on the road, try not to wrap your truck around the tree. Oh, got that feeling like I'm losing control. Oh, like I'm gambling and losing it all.
Yep, that's just countered. Opponent has no mana with which to fight back. And I have this Lavinia in play.
Didn't come from a long line of being corrupt. Just when that battle comes around, you know, can't keep myself from tilting it up. Oh, got that feeling like I'm losing control. Oh, like I'm gambling and losing it all.
Oh, there was no reason to play that. There was absolutely no reason to play the Mox there. So I'm just gonna end up letting it sack to Flux. His opponent doesn't know that, and it represents that I've got something going on. Opponent's just paying for their needle. Means they're doing like stone cold nothing this turn. Sure. Yikes. Yikes. Well, another powerful 1/4. Womp womp. Again, I think in round 3 there, I was playing against Doomsday, and I think that I kind of next leveled myself in the final match against them. I had ways to fight over the Oracle on the stack, and I chose not to because I had already Force of Vigored their graveyard away, but they played through that by cycling in response to the trigger, and I think that I was probably supposed to just force anyway and make them have it. So, that's unfortunate. I think what I will do is I think I'm going to play a league with some of the green-white, Wessel or Illuminarch Aspirant deck. I kind of want to test out some of these Hatebears decks, and I haven't really done a whole lot of that yet. So if everyone is down for their stream, just hang out for just a second here. I'm going to take a quick break, get all that set up, and then I will be right back with a green-white Illuminarch Aspirant league. Stay tuned, everybody. See you in a minute.